Welcome back to another video by SL Performance, guys. Today we're looking all at spinal mobility, and yes, that includes the cervical, the thoracic and the lumbar spines. So remember guys, if you have a pre-existing spinal injury, please consult with your physician before attempting this. Otherwise, we should start to get noticeable improvements in spinal mobility within the 3 weeks of completing this program, and you can complete this 5 to 7 days a week. All right guys, so let's jump into it. Hope you enjoy it today. Okay guys, so what we're starting with today are some loose arm spinal rotations. This is a great little warm up. Our focus here is to try and loosen the hips with the spine. So as we roll side to side here, the hips are trying to follow a little bit. Our feet are shoulder width apart, a little bit of flex through the knees, and we're really focusing on just letting the tissues relax. At 30 seconds to go here, what we are doing now are lifting the hands up towards the chest height. And what we're gonna feel here, or you should feel, is a bit more of a chest stretch as we rotate here. It'll also go a little bit more into the thoracic spine. You might feel a few rib restrictions, which hopefully during these 30 seconds, it'll start to free up. Remember to use that breath, guys, so in through the nose, out through the mouth. With 8 seconds to go, keep things as controlled and as relaxed as possible as we stop right there. Okay, so coming down into a lowered lunge position, what we're going to focus on here is drive the hips forward into that hip flexor psoas stretch. And our focus up the top here is going to be primary side bending, secondary rotation through the spine. So make sure as you side bend and then rotate, if there's any pain through your lower back, we just do the side bending and eliminate the rotation. But as you can see here, always complete the side bending first, then the rotation. As we are completing this exercise, I want you to focus on trying to lengthen that spine as much as possible. This can be achieved by reaching up towards the ceiling as high as you can and maintaining a strong core at all times. So as we count in here, in 3, 2, 1, we're going to come out, change sides. Remember, as we come forward with this hip at the start here, we're going to really try and get that stretch through the hip flexor region and then complete the spinal part of it. So it's always primary side bending first, secondary rotation. Really focus on using that breath. So as we come out and go into the stretch, we're breathing out through the mouth. As we come back in, we're breathing in through the nose. So the exhale controls that release into a stretch where we should feel that spine starting to get a little bit more mobility on each repetition we do. So keep things controlled. We're down to just on 10 seconds to go. Make sure we maintain that height up towards the ceiling as we count in 2 and 1. Good guys, coming out from there. Okay guys, so what we're going to do is first of all step that left foot forward, and with the left arm now we're going to rotate up towards the ceiling, trying to lengthen the arms as much as possible so the right elbow stays straight. As we rotate around, a big focus here is puffing that chest out. So really making sure the chest stays nice and open, as well as lengthening the spine. So if you had a string on the cranium of your head here, that's being stretched out, using all those little core muscles to make sure the spine stays lengthened and it's rotating on one axis. So make sure you follow your breath here, guys. As you rotate around, you're breathing out through the mouth. As you come back in through the nose. Once again, that exhale controls the amount of mobility you get. And as we count in here, we should be starting to feel that rotation through the spine increasing. So 2 and 1, coming out from there, guys. Stepping back with the left foot and coming forward with the right now. So same thing here, guys. As you rotate around, make sure you open up that chest. Keep that left elbow locked nice and straight. Use your breath to control the rotations. The other focus here, especially if you have the mobility to do so, is keep that back knee as straight as possible. So kick the back leg nice and straight, lengthen the spine, use your breath to control the rotation. This motion should be nice and smooth, We shouldn't be forcing anything. There should be no pain. Just going to that barrier and back from there, increasing and pushing that barrier back a little further on each repetition. So as we count down, guys, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay guys, so that thoracic spine should be starting to feel rather warm and mobile, but this one's going to add just a little bit more to the mix. So thread the needles. What our focus is here is to keep that elbow nice and straight, that's grounding into the ground, and then starting to bend it as you come through and reach through the other side. So a big focus here is on trying to rotate your rib cage. So as you feed the arm through here, pushing that left rib cage into left rotation, trying to free up any restrictions we have. So as you can see here, as I reach through, that right elbow flexes down and starts to bend to lower myself. As I'm reaching through down on the angle. So the hand should be reaching through just in front of the right knee here, and it should be going down to out towards the outside. Use your breath here, so in on the as we rotate upwards, out as we reach down, and good. So changing sides from here. So same thing again, guys, feeding that arm through. You can see here that I am feeding it down on the angle, puffing the chest at the top, using your exhale as we reach in and under here. Try and focus, guys, on each rep here, and it might help if you close your eyes on trying to increase a little bit of that mobility. So if there's a spot on the ground as we come down here and reaching towards, try and reach a little further each time, using that rib cage to get that little bit further reach. So keep the control, 15 seconds to go. Don't restrict the breathing, puff the chest up the top here. Make sure, bend the elbow as you come through, down on the angle, and counting in, guys, in 3, 2, and 1. Okay guys, great work with that one. So from here we are going to go into a supine position on our backs. Arms out to the side, pressing into the ground for support. Left knee dropping towards the ground as right knee stays higher. As we go into the right side, the left knee stays a little higher as we rotate down there. Maintain those straightened arms to the side, pressing into the ground for support, and make sure that core is controlling the down phase. So as we lower here, those oblique muscles are controlling the hips, rotating down towards the ground. And what we should be feeling here is a stretch through the lumbar spine or the lower back. You'll feel some of the QLs, the paraspinal muscles go on to stretch. And the main focus here is to keep things as slow as possible. So use that breath out once again as we go, we sink into the stretch. And finishing in 2 and 1. So coming out from here, guys, we're going to go into a static stretch here. So with the eyes and the head, we're rotating back towards that straightened arm on the ground, hooking the ankle over the opposite knee and letting that bent knee sink towards the ground. So use your breath to let everything relax a little bit more into lumbar rotation, and good. Coming out from there, so pull the knees to the chest, wriggle around, let the free up anything through the back as we go into the other side. So straightened arm on the ground, rotating towards that arm with the head, and with that bent knee, trying to use that exhale to let it sink a little further to the ground, which is introducing more and more lumbar rotation. As we count in 3, 2, and 1, bringing the knees back up to the chest and rolling out from here. Okay guys, so from here we're going to go back into a kneeling position, and from here placing the hands and the wrists right under the shoulders. So the movement with this initiates from the sacrum, slowly moves up through the lumbars, the thoracic, and finishes in the cervicals. So we should be trying to move one segment at a time. As we go into this first movement, our arms should be pushing into the mat away from us. As we drop down, we should be pulling those hands into the ground towards the knees. So as we reverse this once again, pushing the hands into the mat, flexing that tailbone, slowly flexing up through the lumbars, the thoracic, and then pulling that chin into our chest. To reverse it, pulling the hands into the ground towards the knees and reversing, extending through the sacrum, lumbars, thoracic, and neck. So try and use your breath, follow your breaths with this, close your eyes and focus on moving one segment at a time. If you find that, especially through your thoracic, a lot of people have block segments, try and break those up as much as possible. Okay guys, so what we are going to do is the same technique on the elbows. This is designed to get a little bit more flexion and extension through the lumbar spine this time. So it's the same thing. As we lift up that spine, we're pushing the arms away. As we go into extension, the elbows get pulled back towards the knees. We're trying to focus on moving individual segments at a time through both flexion and extension. Try and follow your breath. So as you come up, breathing out through the mouth. As you go down, breathing in through the nose. So 20 seconds to go here, guys. Close your eyes, focus on increasing that mobility, lifting that spine towards the ceiling as much as possible. And then imagine you have a string on your sternum here, and as we drop towards the ground, that's getting pulled into a little bit more extension each time. All right, so great guys, coming out from here nice and slowly. Now, if you have a foam roller available, that's great. We are going to use that for this exercise. If not, you can complete without one. We're going to, as you can see here, we're in a semi-lunge position, lifting up through the head, arm on a wall, rotating around, puffing the chest. So that arm on the wall here, we're using to support this rotation and increase the mobility, especially through the mid-back. If you don't have the foam roller, just make sure as you rotate around, that knee isn't rotating with the arm, so it stays nice and close and locked into that wall. So as you can see here, I'm trying to stay as tall as possible through the spine the whole time, tall through the neck, really slowly controlling the rotation. Try and keep those arms and your eye gaze on your hands at all time. If you do have that foam roller, keep squeezing that front knee into the foam roller. Use your breath to breathe out as you come around and breathing in as you come back towards the wall. Okay guys, so we're going to change sides from here. So let's go. So same thing again, squeezing that knee into the foam roller if you have one. If not, make sure that knee doesn't separate from the wall too much. As we come around here, rotating, opening up the chest, nice and tall through the neck, nice and tall through the spine. Keep the control, use your breath to increase a little bit more mobility each time. You'll probably notice that you'll have a little bit of a difference between sides. So if you do have a side that is lacking mobility, you might want to focus on that one a little bit more. So as we count down here, guys, in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay guys, so going into the last exercise for today, and what we are going to do here is interlock the fingers behind the back. So the first motion here, we're going to try and pull those shoulder blades of the scapula back towards each other and as far down as possible while we extend the neck. So extending the neck, reaching as far down as possible, then bringing the shoulder blades as far forward and low as possible as we flex the neck. Reversing this, slowly reaching back, shoulder blades together, extending the neck, and reversing, chin goes back to chest, pulling the shoulder blades forward. Really focus here, guys, on making sure we follow that breath. So as you come forward here, breathing out through the mouth. As we go back, breathing in through the nose. Try and lengthen the neck as much as possible as we go both into extension and flexion. Counting in, guys, in 3, 2, and 1. Hope you enjoyed this routine today, guys. Continue and hopefully you'll see improvements over the next few weeks. Until next time, thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.